Hello, Beatle friends, and hello to everybody else watching. Happy New Year to all of you. This video will be a response to a thread started by YouTube user and Beatles fan named Rachel's Gulls. Rachel started a thread simply titled The Beatles Vinyl Tag 2024. For this thread, a user, a Beatles fan, has to respond to the thread by posting a video answering 10 questions. I have the 10 questions right here. I'm going to go through the 10 questions about my Beatles collection. So, Rachel, hope you enjoy this response to your thread. And I hope everyone else enjoys the response to Rachel's thread. I will have the link to Rachel's video in the description box. Check out her video if you wish to participate, and also subscribe to Rachel's channel. So anyway, I'm going to get started. Going to go through all the 10 questions I have on my tablet here. First question, what Beatles album do you own the most copies of in any format or combination of formats? I'm going to go with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This is the original UK mono pressing. I have like 10 copies of this UK mono pressing and 10 copies of the UK stereo pressing. I have the Japanese stereo red vinyl, Japanese mono red vinyl, the Australia red vinyl edition from the late 80s. I have a couple German copies of this album. I have many copies of this album. I've been rebuying this album through the years. And I'm not sure if I'm going to buy another copy of this album. Oh, I forgot to mention the 2017 50th anniversary edition. I also have that. So I'm going to go with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band for the first question here. The Beatles album I own the most copies of. All right. Next question, show a Beatles bootleg. I'm going to show you Stars of 63. This bootleg was released by Swingin' Pig in the late 80s on both CD and vinyl. This is the vinyl edition I'm holding here. This is a bootleg of the Beatles concert in Sweden back in 1963. Recorded live at Karlaplan Studio, Stockholm, Sweden, October 24th, 1963 for Swedish radio show Pop 63. And here's the track list. Half of this live performance appears on the Beatles Anthology 1. I'm very disappointed they didn't include the entire performance on Anthology 1. Hopefully someday they'll release the Stockholm, Sweden concert. So that's the answer for show a Beatles bootleg. Is I'm going to show you Stars of 63 here. So, all right, next question. Show the last Beatles album you bought. I'm going to go with the brand new Red and Blue album remix colored vinyl set. A new release here, released back in November. Next question, show a solo album from your favorite Beatle. Most of the time, my favorite Beatle is Paul McCartney, but for now, I'm going to go with John Lennon because I go back and forth between John and Paul. Most of the time, it's Paul, but for now, I'm going to go with John. And I couldn't decide whether to show an actual John Lennon solo studio album or a posthumous compilation. I decided I'll go with the posthumous compilation. This is Once Upon a Time selections from the John Lennon Anthology box set. This is a highlights album, back of it. The track list. This is a collection of all the best moments from the John Lennon Anthology box set. And next question, show a non-USA or non-UK Beatles album. I'm going to show you Die Beatles or Die Beatles. This is a German pressing of Please Please Me, the Please Please Me album. And this is considered the best sounding pressing of the Please Please Me album in stereo because when they cut this, It was a flat transfer. There was no EQing. It was just a flat transfer from the master tape. And this sounds really good too. And next question, show a Beatles single or EP. I'm going to show you a single that is one of my prized possessions in my collection. And that's Please Please Me. Ask Me Why. This is the original VJ promotional white label promo copy. This one's in excellent shape. I've always wanted this one in my collection. I'm very happy to have it in my collection. It's one of my prized possessions. So Please Please Me, Ask Me Why. White label promo copy on the VJ label. Next question. Show an album that features a Beatles cover song. I'm going to show you Deep Purple's debut album, Shades of Deep Purple. This is the original UK stereo pressing on Parlophone. Back of it. This one has a cover of Help. I think their cover of Help is good. I don't love it as much, but yeah, Deep Purple, Shades of Deep Purple, their rendition of Help on here. And next question, show an album where one of the Beatles guest starred on it. I'm going to go with Eric Clapton, Journeyman. This has the song Run So Far, which was written by George Harrison and was released on George's last album, Brainwash. But this one was released this album was released back in 1989, and George was still with us. And George guest starred on Eric's version of Run So Far. George played guitar and sang backing vocals with Eric. So Eric Clapton, Journeyman, for the show an album that features where one of the Beatles guest starred on it. Okay, next question is a non-album Beatles related item, such as a book, a ticket, a pillow, anything that's not an album. This one was one of my recent finds at my local record store. This is a poster I purchased with a picture of the Beatles, which looks like it was taken from a magazine that was published back in the early 60s. And it's a really nice photo of the Beatles. I'll show this one in my Beatles update video. And another non-album I want to show you, a Beatles item that's not a vinyl album or a CD or a cassette tape. I got to show you this. This is a photo of the Beatles I included here. And on the back are the Beatles autographs. All genuine. The 1963 autographs by the Beatles. And I could show you all of my Beatles autographs, but I think I'll do it at another time. But I have both of the songs by George Harrison books, both signed by George, and they have a vinyl record EP with some unreleased tracks. Well, some of them ended up being released on the reissues of some of George's albums. And I have signed Ringo books. I have some Paul McCartney signed items. Like I said, I'm gonna do another video where I show you all of my Beatles autographs, and this will make an appearance again. So, all right. Next question. This will be my last question. Show us your favorite Giles Martin Beatles remix. I'm gonna go back to the Red and Blue album here. So far, I love the Red album remix. I really love Giles Martin's remixing of the early Beatles songs on the Red album. So I'm really looking forward to the earlier albums being remixed by Giles Martin in the future, especially Rubber Soul. So hopefully Rubber Soul will happen this year. So the Red Album remixed by Giles Martin. All right, and that is it. Rachel, if you're watching, thank you very much for creating this thread, and also thank you very much for watching. And I hope you enjoy the answers to all 10 questions for this thread. And thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and talk to you all later.